everyone, Amanda here. I'm going to share with you today how I've made this lovely tag pocket. It was inspired by a video shared with me by my friend Kay, and I'll leave a link below to the video that inspired me. The lady's name was Carmen. Now Carmen used a die that she'd bought to create this pocket. It had all the components in the die, and I just thought I can make that with what I've already got at home. Typical crafter, I thought I can make that. So I thought I'd have a look in my stash, see what dies I had in my hoard, and hey presto, I've come up with this. So the die that I used is this one, and I've had them in my stash for ages. I think they were X-cut, but you could use anything. It's like a nesting die, and if you don't have the die, you can just cut a rectangle shape, it doesn't matter. So this measures approximately, where's my ruler? So this measures in full, it measures about 6.5 by about 4 1/4. Alright, so that's the die I've used, I've had them for years. Alright, so I've cut one in craft card and then one in patterned paper. This is some beautiful paper that my friend Kay gave me. Don't know where it's from. She gave it me when I visited her. Can't remember now if it was last year or the year before, and it's that one. Alright, and some of them are filed and some aren't. Lovely. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to make all of this. So the first thing that I decided to do was square off the bottom. So on my die here, I've got a dip where it comes in before the fancy bit, so I'm going to cut straight across there. So in essence, we will be cutting it down to, let me get my ruler, we will be cutting it down to about 5 1/4 and 5.5 with the point. Alright, but you know, just do it by eye, it doesn't really matter about precise measuring, it's just the idea, and you know, you can make it whatever size you want. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting straight across where that line is there, and I've put the paper and the card together so I can cut them both exactly the same. Alright, and then this bit here, don't throw it away because we're going to use that to decorate the top of the pocket. So that's my tag shape. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue that on. In shot, yeah. Making sure I'm in shot. You can glue it, you could sew it, you could do what you want. And of course you can use scrapbooking paper, you could use napkins, you could use digital papers, you can use whatever you want. I've used generic stuff rather than Stampin' Up! To show you that you can just use whatever's in your stash. Alright, this would work with any brand, any paper, anything you want. And if you don't have this die, just cut a rectangle. Alright, it's just the idea that I'm sharing. Just let me get that glue on there. I mean, it's nothing new, loads of people have done things like this. I'm just sharing with you how I've made mine. Alright, and then what I've done is I've got some, what's this, milled lavender, which is quite a light sort of purple because I've got purpley tones in the paper there. Now this might not show on camera, it is very pale, but I can see it. Just distress all the way around. I have got Dusty Concord as well, but that's just a tad too dark for me. Alright, so that just shows up nicely. Alright, and then I have cut a piece here. This measures 4 7/8 by 2.5, I want to say. Yeah, 4 7/8 by 2.5, and then I've scored it at 1/2 inch there, 1/2 inch there, and 1/2 inch on the bottom, and that will make us a pocket. Alright, like so. So you fold them over, then you open it up, you grab your scissors, and you just cut across there to snip that. So that when it folds over, it's not bulky. Okay, and if it's still overlapping, just trim a bit more off. You just want to take the bulk out and just trim a bit more off. Alright, so there we go. I'll do it a bit sharper. Alright, now they shouldn't overlap there, they don't overlap. And then what I do is I just notch off the top as well so it doesn't show when you glue it down. Alright, so that's that one. So what we're going to do with that is just ink all the edges of that as well. I could do with some refills for these distress inks. I've had these, I bet I've had these 7 years, maybe 8 years. I've had them forever. They're probably, I'm surprised they still work, but they do. Right, so that's that. Okay. And then all we have to do is glue that on. I love this kind of crafting. To me, this is, you know, you're making it yourself. Everything's made from scratch. You're not just getting things out of a pocket. You're out of a packet. You're proper creating something. And then just glue that on the bottom as close to the edge, but not on the edge, because you want to show that it is a pocket. All right, give that a press. On my original one I used different papers, different paper on the back. I'm just using anything, just use up your, great way to use up your stash. Put them in journals, send them out as gifts, loads of things you can do with them. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, remember the little bits that I cut off? I'm going to glue that on there and I'm going to have it as a fancy top for the pocket. Alright, so nothing's getting wasted. Get that on there. Glue that on like so. And again, this is the kind of thing you can make in bulk, make a heap of them all at the same time, cut them all out, get yourself a little stash of them. You make these while you're sat watching the TV. I'm a bit obsessed with a programme on English BBC iPlayer called This Country. Can't stop watching it. I've got problems. I've watched the whole series over and over and over again. Every single series, I think there's 3. And I've watched them all over and over again non-stop for about 3 months. I can't stop watching it. It was the same with Peaky Blinders as well. I couldn't stop watching that, but then I eventually got bored of it. So I need to really find something else to watch. Okay, so there we go. Glue that on there and then stick it on the top of the pocket for a little bit of fancy. You don't have to, but it uses up that stash, it uses up them offcuts, and it just adds a bit of interest and it looks pretty. Okay, and obviously it mimics the shape at the top there. I just want a bit more ink on there. Alright, then what I'm going to do is just punch a hole in the top. I have got this, you can use any old hole punch, you can buy them with just one hole. This is just good because it goes through thicker stuff. Okay, there we go. Excuse me, sorry I couldn't stop that sneeze, and no, I don't have corona. I'm just going to get my little square. So this measures, what does this measure? So this is a second little pocket I'm going to put on my pocket, and this measures 2 by 1 3/4, and I've scored on 3 sides at 1/4 inch to make a little pocket. And we're going to do the same thing and snip off the bottom corners and then just notch the side flaps like so. Alright, and I've carefully cut it so that it's you know, highlighting a nice piece of the paper. You don't want to randomly cut it so all you've got on there is a leaf. You know, make sure it's got something nice on. And then I'm just going to ink that up so that it stands out a little bit. I'm just going to grab my little 3/4 inch, no, 1/2 inch circle punch. Now these come and go from Stampin' Up. They keep retiring them and bringing them back and retiring and bringing them back. I'm never letting go of any of my circle punches because they always come in handy. This is a 1/2 inch one, so I'm just going to centralise it and make myself a tiny weeny little thumb notch there, look. Okay, now it'll never leave my, they'll have to take that off my cold dead hands. Never letting go of any of my circle punches because I use them all. Right, so and now we can add that to, I like this glue, it's called High Tack. I just get it locally because I keep running out of other glue, and I like it, it glues really nice, but it leaves like little bits, like bits of dust. I don't know if that's just me or if it's that brand of glue. It sticks awesome, but I'm forever like moving bits. Okay, give that a press, alright, and that will make yourself a little pocket there. Okay, and then what I've got to go in there are just these little tickets. Bought these off eBay, got like a big massive roll of them for, I don't know, not a lot of money. I was going to sell them in kits and I never got round to it. So I'll just use them. Okay, I'm just leaving them plain, but I'm inking it up so it all matches. Alright, and I know that it'll fit two in. You can alter these, you could decoupage on them, you can stick them to cardstock because they're a bit thin. Stick them to cardstock, you could do what you want, put flowers on them. I'm just leaving these plain. I'll put one in there and one in there. Okay, so that they're just like set at an angle like that. Alright, so that's that bit done. Okay, so what else do I need to do? Let me remind myself what else I need to do. Oh, my tags, yes, right. So the tags, these are my tags. I've got myself a template from a die cut tag that's Kay sent me, and I just keep it and I draw around it and I cut that the same every time. But it's basically 2.5 by 4.5. Alright, and then you just snip the edges off like so. So I'm just going to choose some paper. I thought I had some picked. I'll choose some paper for that. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to use this piece here. Alright, so I just want two for now. Put these away. So I'm going to go for this and this, I think. So all I'm going to do is... Which side do I want to glue on? I'll go on that side. Add some glue to my tag shape that I've just cut by hand by drawing around my template. You can get dies, just making myself. So 2.5 by 4.5 rectangle, and then just cut the edges off. Alright, so I'm just going to turn that over and I'm going to stick it down there so that that's going to be the focal point of this tag. Alright. And then this one I want up there, so if I glue with this, and in between bits of paper won't get wasted because I'll use them, it'll go in my journal scrap box, and when I'm journaling I'll use it on more tags or embellishments or whatever, it won't get wasted. Let's stick that there, give that a press. Okay, and then all you have to do is cut it out. Like so. Just trim it. Could use your trimmer if you want. My blades need changing on my trimmer, it's starting to make my paper fairy. I need to find my spare blades. That's one. Let's do this one. And then I've done some seam binding for decoration. It's 1/2 inch seam binding, and I have pre-dyed it with Dusty Concord. It's super easy. You just dab some of the Dusty Concord on a mat, spray it with water, stick your seam binding in it, mush it about, and then dry it. It's that simple. Okay, I've done videos on it before. Look, there's loads of videos out there. I'm not going to show you how to teach your grandma how to suck eggs. So all I'm doing with these is I'm going to distress them. I would advise letting that, if you've used wet glue, letting it dry in between. I ain't got time. Okay, I think I need a refill definitely for this ink. I need to invest. I've been making some journals and selling them so that I've got extra money for craft stuff that's non-Stampin' Up. Because my Stampin' Up stuff's not a problem. I get all that at a discount. That's not a problem. But if I want anything else, you know, like everybody else, it's full price. And if you want the nice stuff, you've got to save up for it. So that's that. And then I'm going to punch some holes. So I can do them both at the same time with this. That's the benefit of this tool. It will punch them both. And then I just want to make one of them shorter than the other so that they look stacked. So I'm just going to trim an inch off of that one, off of the plainer one. So let me just, or do I just want half an inch? No, I'll take an inch. How does this one measure? I've taken an inch off that. I've taken an inch off that. I'll even save that because I might use that for something. I'm getting bad. I'm getting bad. Since I started doing junk journals, I've never been one for saving lots of scraps, but something like that, I think, well, I could layer something on there. In fact, I might use it in a minute. So that's that. So now they'll layer like so. And then I've got my seam binding here. So what we're going to do now is add our seam binding, just one to each tag. One, that'll be enough. Alright, so let me... You can always fast forward this bit if you want, if it's too boring for you. Is it through the front? Through the front, around the back, loop it over. That's where you get the best look. Give it a thinger, give it a trim so they're not too long. The sun's paused slightly there to adjust my white balance because the sun's absolutely streaming through and it's ruining my video, so I am sorry. But we'll get going again. We're just adding the seam binding to the tags. Hopefully I won't have to stop and readjust it. The sun's decided to come a-blazing, and the way my layout is, I just can't avoid it unless I film at night. Right, so what I'm also going to do is put some, I don't know how much I'm going to use. I've got loads of this and it's cheap as chips, so please don't worry if there's a bit of waste. I will use it. I will stick it on little embellishments in my junk journals and stuff. So I'm looping that around and then I'm going to tie it in a big shabby bow, I think. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. Let's trim some of that off. Trim some of that off. That'll go in my scrap box. Let me just crinkle that up a little bit more. Alright, and then we just put our tags in there. So put that one in first. Just adjust my bow. I want my bow peeking over the top. Might need to just cut these tails a little bit shorter. I'll faff with those later. And then we put that one in like so. So that's our tags in our loaded pocket. Let me just zoom out on that a little bit. Alright, with our lovely shabbiness. And then we're just going to finish decorating with a few little elements here. So I've fussy cut some flowers from the paper line, and I've got this little random die cut that I've had gifted. So we're just going to layer up on the edge of the tag there, just for a little bit of decoration. So I'll just stick that little silver die cut there, and then I'll just trim that down a bit. I've got another one here. Just layering them up. And then I've got this one here. Let me just cut some of that. Don't know if that green's a bit much. Just move that over. Just put it there like that, just hanging off the edge. That's what I'll do. Just have it hanging off the edge like that. Alright, and then just on the bottom here we're going to have some cheesecloth. Just a bit of glue there, sort of in the kind of vicinity where I want it, and then I just stick it down quite lightly. Alright, and then we're going to have a little word, And I've got some of these from My Porch Prints, which are my favourites at the moment. What shall we have? Let's have Create. Quite like that one. So I just print these out on cardstock, Stampin' Up. It's about 200 and some at GSM, I think, 210 I think. Okay, and then I'm just going to just move that rough up the edges with the edge of my scissors. Okay. So I'm sorry you've had all different kinds of tones in the video. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm always apologising, either for my lighting or whatever. I need to just never mind and just get on with it. It's about learning. It doesn't matter what the lighting or the... And now we've got a helicopter. Yes, now police are out. All we need now is for the dogs to start barking. But there you go, that's real life crafting for you. Right, okay, so put that on there like so, and that says Create. Alright. And if we just need a bit more glue there to anchor that down a bit better. Da, 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 and there we go, we're all done. Oh, I haven't done my little, ooh, in this one I've got a little friend singer. Let's make one of those. Forgot about that. I nearly forgot. Right, so again, My Porch Prints. What shall we have? Let's have Laugh. Laugh. We'll have that one. All you do is just literally cut them out. I don't cut them out neat because I'm gonna distress them anyway. Trim it down. Trim that down a bit more. Distress it. Just move that out of the way so it don't get full of bits. Distress it so it looks nice and scruffy. Alright, and then I'm going to ink that. Super easy. These little journal cards, little prompts, little words, what are they, dictionary definitions, something like that, along those lines. I'm not quite sure. And then all I'm going to do is stick it. Did I stick it on? I think I stuck my original one on Craft and then on this, and I think I'm just going to go straight for the lavender. It's Purple Poser. This beautiful colour. Yeah, I'm just going to go stick it straight on there. I'm not going for middleman on this one. Okay, stick it straight on there. And then just really roughly cut it out. This is the good thing about distressing. Doesn't matter if you can't cut straight, which is ideal for me because I can't. Alright, and then all you have to do with that is distress it again. Just be careful if you're doing it like me that you don't, you know, cut yourself, slash your wrist, stick your knives in your scissors in your there by accident. That would be disastrous because there'd be blood everywhere all over your project. You'd have to start again. It's no good. We don't want that, so please be careful. Alright. There are special tools you can get that are much safer way of doing it than this, but I don't like the result. In fact, I've got one somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Yeah, I've got one here. So that's a kind of like a distressing tool. So we do have one, and they've got like little blades in there, and you go like that. But I don't know if it's me that don't use it right. I'm just not massively. I just find I get a nicer result with the scissors. So that's been relegated to the toolbox of tools I shall never use. All crafters have got a toolbox full of stuff they've bought thinking they needed it, and in fact they don't. Okay, right, so that's that. and that then slips in there. So there we go, we've now got 2 of them which I can put in journals or gift. I might send one to Kay for giving me the inspiration. So there you go, give it a go. Thanks for watching, sorry for the rubbish lighting, but I hope that you get the idea and you'll give it a try. Thanks for watching, bye.